Welcome to the screencast that will teach you all things announcements. So the first thing you're going to do is you are going to access the login page. And you're going to do that by going to oakwood.announcementsforschools.com. And once you get to the login page, you'll see our Axe Media logo, because the Axe Media is the new journalism organization at Oakwood High School. And we are going to be handling all of your announcements this year. And with that, what you'll do is you'll go ahead and put in your email address. So I'm going to use the yearbook email address because their interface looks more similar to yours. But you'll put in your email, and then you'll also put in your password. Now, the default password for all accounts is announcements, all lowercase. So after you log in for the first time, make sure to change that to keep your account secure. So you go ahead and pop in your password, and you click login. And what you'll see first is a pretty simple interface. Over here on the left-hand side, you'll see a sidebar that contains our announcements software and the other software options from Software for Schools. We do not have subscriptions to any of these, but feel free to explore in your free time. You have the help option down here at the bottom, and then you have your log out option there. Up at the top of the interface, you have your home button, which will take you back to this screen. You have your announcement button where all of the announcements will be displayed. And then you can also look at announcements in this calendar view as well, if you prefer that. So that is finished. So we'll go back to the home screen. Underneath the top row of buttons, you will see a space for today's announcements. There are no announcements for today, but we're going to make one. And then you have a space for birthdays, which we are not going to utilize. And then down at the bottom, you have an area that includes any notifications from the software company. All right. So coming back up to the top, first step, how do we create an announcement? Let's check it out. So you hit create announcement and you'll be taken to this window. So I'm going to pretend to be the yearbook staff, since this is the yearbook account, and I am going to make an announcement for School Photo Day. So you're first going to enter a title. Make sure it's something that tells what your announcement is about. So School Photo Day, and the start date and the end date. Well, let's see here. School Photo Day is on the 16th of September, but I don't want the announcement to begin then, so I'd probably want the announcement to begin on Monday, and then I'd want it to end on September 16th. And you want to choose your dates based on how soon that you need to get that information out there, because the software is automatically only going to include announcements for certain days based on the dates chosen. So you need to then choose what group that this actually applies to. So the options are the entire building, so building announcements. You have lunch, so maybe what the lunch schedule is, that, what's on the menu for today. High school announcements, guidance office, specifically high school announcements, junior high announcements, and then sports announcements. So we've got those headers. Obviously, School Photo Days apply to both the junior and senior high, so I'm going to pick building announcements. And then I have to decide how this is going to be displayed on that public calendar we looked at, because that calendar is going to not only be on the Axe Media website, but it's also going to be on the district website. So how do we want this event to be displayed on that calendar? Well, I would think with Picture Day, I wouldn't want it displayed every day because the event actually isn't until the last day of my announcement. So I'm going to pick the option that's most appropriate for me. And now here comes the best part, actually writing the announcement. Now, sometimes with announcements, and I mean that all inclusive, sometimes we bury the actual important information and we add a bunch of fluff to engage our audience. And not that engaging your audience is a bad thing, but sometimes it's a little superfluous. So how can we get the most important information down? Because we only have 500 characters, right? So let's think about School Photo Day as the example. So Easterling Studios will take school photos in the auditorium on September 16th. Okay, let's pause there. So I've used fewer than 100 characters. Let's check our information. So any sort of announcement, the most important part is the who, what, when, where, why, and how. Those are the big questions. So let's see what I've covered so far. So we've got who, Easterling, and students are implied, right? Because they're taking school photos. So Easterling and students. What, school photos. When, September 16th. Where, auditorium. Now we just got the why and the how, right? And sometimes the why and the how is tricky, and you have to kind of like think about it. So Easterling Studios will take school photos in the auditorium on September 16th. Students will take their photo during their homeroom's time on the schedule. Schedules are posted in the hallway. Okay, so we've got some more information that we added, and we're still under 200 characters. So students will take their photo during their homeroom's time on the schedule. Schedules are posted in the hallway. So you could add something like, if you have questions, please see this or that. Regardless, as you can see, the most important information is there. If then you would like to go back and add something cute at the beginning, smile, right? You can do that. But getting the most important information down will help to make sure you're not missing anything. So what you're going to do then is look over your announcement, right? Spelling, grammar, anything like that. One thing I like to do is sometimes copy and paste my things into Google Docs or email and spell check them that way, and then put them back into the window if it doesn't have a spell check. So we've got all our things looking good. Okay, so you've checked it all, you've hit okay. Now, as you can see, there are no announcements for today. Back of the interface, right? If today were a week or so from now, you would see announcements pop up here and you could read it from here. If you ever would like to see announcements that are not happening today, all you have to do is click the announcements thing. Okay, so what I can do here is click today's announcements, tomorrow's, Monday's, future, all announcements, or announcements that I have submitted that need approval. Let's look at that first. So I submitted this announcement and it has not been approved yet. So therefore, it's not going to show up on the calendar until it is approved by the journalism staff. If I go to all announcements, I will see all of the announcements that are here. Now, this announcement was something that the yearbook staff sent, and it has already been approved. So you can see that it was on the calendar and it's here. So if you would like to read the announcements, you just click on here, and today's announcements will automatically show up, tomorrow's or Monday's. Right now, the announcements that we've made are not going to show up for a while. But this is where you would go to read announcements here. You could read future announcements here, or you can just go to the interface and read today's announcements. This is how that you access, create, and read announcements. If you have questions, please shoot me an email, jackson.kelsey@oakwoodsschools.org, or you can stop by because I love seeing people during my third period announcement duty, and I'll be happy to answer any and all of your questions. But I think you guys got this. Have a great year.